A significant gap in power is generally accepted by countries such Latin America, Africa, and Asia, few of which are China and the Philippines. In these two countries, both inequality and hierarchy are considered as beneficial. According to Hofstede's insights, China scored on the power distance 80 while the Philippines scored 90. So it means that China and the Philippines belong to a high power distance culture, and this scale represents how much the less powerful individuals within a country's institutions and organizations anticipate and accept the unequal distribution of power. According to Lily Pike in her news article, high levels of inequality aren't a new phenomenon in China. The rich and poor gaps trace back to Deng Xiaoping's economic reforms in the year 1978. And as a result of Deng's initiative to open the Chinese economy and promote growth, the coastal cities first experienced economic expansion while inland and rural areas stalled behind. On the other hand, it is believed that the political culture to the Philippines is the primary contributor to economic inequalities. It is a spoils system based on the connection between the leaders of the political parties to other politicians and other elites. Although both nations may recognize these benefits of inequality and hierarchical culture, those at the bottom of the social spectrum also suffer the consequences. So, as it is ingrained in their cultures, it may take their society some time to eradicate such phenomena. Still, it would be better if they could prevent inequalities, or if not, they should learn to pay more attention to those who are at the bottom of the society.
Hi everyone, I'm Obdianela and I'm here to show you the differences or similarities of China and Philippines in terms of individualism. Let's start. So we can see the graph result here, and it shows that in terms of individualism, the Philippines got 32% while China got 20%, indicating that the Philippines and China have low individualism and are collectivistic. It means that they prioritize social harmony, respect, and group needs over individual needs. Pero bakit nga ba ang China at ang Philippines ay naging isang collectivist country? Talakayin natin. According to my research, Philippines and China as part of Asia, their culture is highly collectivistic. They are focusing more on society instead of its individual members. It pushes people to prioritize the goal of the society over personal needs and desire, or the needs of the family are prioritized over the needs of the individual. Let's first discuss China. China's culture values unity and conformity more. They prefer to reflect their leaders' and ancient tradition views rather than their own. Chinese people prefer a more structured hierarchy when interacting with others. Chinese elders and males are given more respect with the family, as dictated by the ancient tradition. Friendships are also influenced by the Chinese collectivist mindset. Chinese people prefer to have a small group of lifelong friends on whom they can completely rely. The Chinese feel obligated to help their close friends in the same way that they feel obligated to care to their family and relatives. So to summarize, the Chinese collectivist mindset fosters society that is supportive and protective to its members, at the expense of personal independence. So now let's move on to Philippines. Philippines, like China, share their social structures to support community, family, and society rather than individuals, in which the needs of the family takes precedence over the needs of the individual. Filipino values social harmony and maintaining harmonious relationship, which means they may avoid expressing their true opinions or delivering unwelcome news. Its members have strong ties to and commitment to its group. Filipinos frequently view themselves through the lens of their rules in their family or group. For example, the firstborn has responsibilities and is held to certain standard. Members dream of frequently intertwined with their relationship and the rules within the organization. Again, the firstborn frequently wishes to be financially secure so that he can send his younger sibling to school, build a house for his parents, and so on. Personally, it appears that it's difficult to separate oneself from the family or group to which he belongs because his experiences, views, and dreams are heavily influenced by the group. So, that's all. China is more high collectivist than Philippines, but they are both low individualism. Thank you.
I'm Salcedo, and I will discuss the masculinity of Philippines and China. So, makikita natin dito sa graph na magkadikit lang ang kanilang percentage, which is sa Pilipinas ay 64% at sa China naman ay 66%. So, mas sinasabi dito na ang Pilipinas is a country which people, especially men, live in order to work. At sa China naman is a society which success is defined by achievement. So, they're working away from their home in order to achieve higher pay and promotion. So, parang sila yung nagsasacrifice para sa kanilang pamilya. So, ang Pilipinas at China is a masculine countries. Kasi mapapansin natin na kalimitan sa mga lalaki, lalo na yung may pamilya na, ay sila yung nagtatrabaho or obligadong magtrabaho para itaguyod yung kanilang pamilya.
Good day everyone, I'm Geogie May Querubin. So, makikita sa screen nyo na 30% ang uncertainty avoidance ng China at 44% naman sa Pilipinas. So, parehas mababa ang kanilang uncertainty avoidance. So, ano nga ba pinagkaiba nito? Bigyan ko lang kayo na ang uncertainty avoidance ay ito ay kumbaga pasaway. Sa China, they don't questioning their boss. Kumbaga, they follow the instruction. Sa Pilipinas, pinipili na sumuway kesa sa sumunod. Sa Pilipinas, madaming nadi-disobey agad. Sa China, hindi. Sa China, they don't disagree with their superior. Hindi agad nagkikriticize agad-agad sa mga nakakataas sa kanila. Sila is hardworking. Tayo rin naman is hardworking, pero meron tayong isang bad habits. Hindi naman ito katamaran, pero meron o madami tayong laging mga palusot. Mabilis tayong mag-judge, kumbaga hindi natin inaalam ang both sides reason. Sa China, takot sila mag-take ng mga risk. Kumbaga sa isang negosyo, takot sila malugi. Dito sa Pilipinas, sa mga Pilipino, lagi silang si bahala na basta ako, susubok ako. Kahit hindi naman nila alam o walang kasiguraduhan yung pinapasok nila. Kaya mas mataas ang uncertainty avoidance ng Pilipinas kesa sa China.
Hello, and I am Mariah Angelica Cabriga, and I will discuss the long-term orientation in China and Philippines. So, mapapansin natin na mas mataas ang graph ng China kaysa sa Philippines pagdating sa long-term orientation. So, mas mataas ang percentage ng China, which is 87%. At ito ay may ugnay natin sa pagnanais ng mga Chino na magtagumpay sa buhay. Halimbawa na lang sa isang trabaho. Handa silang magtiyaga ng mahabang panahon upang makamit yung kanilang goal. Ang mga Chino rin ay hindi masyado sa mga okasyon. At lagi din sila na nakapokus sa bagay na mag-grow sila. And hindi tulad sa Pilipinas, mas iniisip natin kung ano yung makakapagpasaya sa atin. Which is okay naman, pero mas tayo sa China na mas focus sila sa gusto nilang makamit. Kagaya na lang sa mga business. Marami silang business. Ang Pilipinas kasi kapag may business sila, tayo ay mas nakapokus lang tayo sa isang standard. Halimbawa na lang sa trabaho, merong standard na bawal may tato or bawal yung may paska na ikaw ay nakulong. Parang masyado tayong mataas ang standard pagdating sa Pilipinas. Kaya mas maliit dahil yun ang lumabas at 27%. At yun, makikita natin na mas mataas talaga ang percentage ng China kaysa sa Pilipinas. And kung mapapansin din natin, talagang more business talaga yung focus ng mga China. Kaya yun, medyo nakaka-adapt tayo, pero mas ang maangat sa atin yung pagiging party people, kumbaga. And yun lang. Thank you.
This is about the indulgence between the China and the Philippines. As you can see, Philippines is the higher rather than the China because China is a restrained society. As can be seen, it is the score of 24 in this dimension. Societies with the low scores in the dimension have a tendency to cynicism and pessimism. Also, in contrast to indulgent societies, restrained societies do not put much emphasis in the leisure time and control that gratification of their desire. People with the orientation have the perception that their action and restrained by social norms and feel that indulging themselves is something wrong. But when it comes on the Philippines has a score of 42%. The culture of the Philippines is one of the restrained society with a low score in this dimension have a tendency to cynicism and pessimism. Also, in a contrast to indulgent society, restrained societies do not put much emphasis the leisure time and control the gratification of the desire. People with this orientation have the perception that their actions are restrained by social norms and feel that indulging themselves in somewhat wrong. And one of the reasons why Philippines is a higher rather than the China, it is because of the restrained policy of our country.
To summarize our report, we therefore conclude that both in the China and Philippines, inequality and hierarchy are considered beneficial. China scoring 80 and Philippines scoring 90 clearly shows that these two countries belong to a high power distance culture. In China, high levels of inequality aren't new phenomenon. There's already a history about the rich-poor gap in 1978, while in our country, the Philippines, political culture is the primary contributor to economic inequalities. Although both nations may recognize the benefits of inequality and hierarchical culture, those at the bottom of the social spectrum also suffer the consequences. Philippines scored 32 while China scored 20. This clearly shows that both countries have low individualism and are collectivist. These two countries focus more on the society instead of the individual members. In China, their culture values unity and conformity more. They prefer to reflect their leaders' and ancient traditions' views rather than their own. In the Philippines, social structures are shaped to support community, family, and society rather than individuals. China is more high collectivist than Philippines, but they are both low individual. In terms of masculinity, Philippines scored 64 while China scored 66. Philippines is a country wherein Filipino people, especially men, lived in order to work, while in China, a society which success is defined by achievement. Both are masculine countries. Men in the family are the ones obliged to work in order to sustain the family's necessities in life. In terms of uncertainty avoidance, China scored 30 while Philippines scored 44. In China, they don't question the superiors, instead, they just follow rules and regulations with no questionings at all. Unlike in the Philippines, we first question stuffs before obeying such rules and regulations. In terms of long-term orientation, Philippines scored 27 while China scored 87. These two have a great difference. China is a very long-term oriented society. This ties in with Chinese people's drive to succeed in life. They are willing to persevere and work for a long time to achieve, while Philippines are more normative than pragmatic. In Philippines, they are more on occasion or a party people, who like more to party and work for their needs to fulfill their happiness. In terms of indulgence, Philippines scored 42 while China scored 24. Due to China's low score, it is concluded that they have a restrained society. Societies with a low score in this dimension have a tendency to cynicism and pessimism. In contrast to indulgent societies, restrained societies do not put much emphasis on leisure time and control the gratification of their desires. In the Philippines, with a score of 42, their culture of the Philippines is one of restraint. So, that summarizes our group's report about the cultural comparison of Philippines and China in Hofstede's cultural dimension. Thank you for listening and have a great day.